Okay, Christina here to listen to some music. And today's music selection is The Pot by Tool. This is my second reaction to Tool on the channel. And as I said in the first reaction, which was to 46 and 2, I had always heard of this band, but never sat down to listen to them, to the point where they really didn't even sound that familiar. Like the genre kind of sounded familiar, but not the actual fingerprints of the band. So this has been a really fun journey with this little introduction to this group. What have I learned so far about them? Complexity. They're extremely complex. As a professional musician, instructor, composer, instrumentalist, vocalist, I love that. So 46 and 2 was a whole lot of fun, but I have been so excited to dig into more of their music. And again, thank you to everyone out there who is helping me decide which music and which songs to listen to. Polls that I've put out on YouTube and over on Patreon are what helped me decide this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can take part in all those polls and also make direct requests, both on Patreon and on Ko-fi. You can also become a channel member and also just leave comments on these videos because I try to read as many of them as I can. And I do listen to the viewers. It's a community effort. And I have heard from the fans, by the way. Love the Tool community. Spiral out. Okay, I think we're ready. And I do have the lyrics pulled up, but I'm going to listen to this for the music first, and then I'm going to go back and kind of interject some of the lyrics and find out the meaning. I think this is the best way for my brain to absorb the complexity of all of this. Okay, I'm really excited. Okay, here we go.
Who are you to wave your finger? You must have been out your head. I hold deep in muddy waters. You practically raised the dead. Rob the grave to snow the cradle, then burn the evidence down. Soapbox house of cards and glass, so don't go tossing your stones around. You must have been high. You must have been high.
Okay, that's a good stopping point, I hope. In music as complex as this, it's difficult to pick a spot. But wow, first of all, this is not a disappointment so far. So I actually don't know if this is from the same album that 46 and 2 was on. But whether it is or isn't, I hear a lot of similarities. Some bands, they change their aesthetic, and sometimes it can happen sort of overnight, like from one album to the next. This seems more continuous. And there's nothing wrong with changing. I definitely hear their style here. Of the little snapshot that I have already gotten, I hear it here. So a couple of things that really stand out to me. First, the vocalist is in the spotlight for this one, whereas in 46 and 2, you could almost not hear him. Like, you had to really strain, and the instruments were so highlighted, whereas his voice, it just starts out right from the beginning. And in fact, and I can definitely hear this through headphones, that there was actually a little reverb happening, like preverb. I don't know. What would you call it? The sound was actually coming before he started singing. Like, I could hear the voice. I could hear him singing very quietly in the background before he actually started singing the actual words. That was a really cool effect. I love all of the little electronic effects that happen. And there was one point in there where one of the little, the ding kind of noises in the background, like, was completely in unison with the voice and what he was doing. It's so cool. I love listening for all those little things. And they're mixed in such a way that they're coming at you in different directions. And it's really cool. A really great effect. And his diction, the way he sings, it's very clear, but it's not annoyingly clear. So he's still slurring a few words together here and there to make it seem more natural and more comfortable, but he's enunciating enough of the words while he's singing that you can catch some of the lyrics, at least for me. Again, I always hear the music first and then the lyrics. So when I'm hearing the lyrics, I have to really remind my brain to pay attention to the lyrics. I didn't have too much trouble doing that. I caught lots of things, especially don't wave your finger at me. And I think I caught the word hypocrite. So just those two bits right there, that's almost enough for me to sort of sense the attitude of this song. And then I heard some usage of his voice that was really creative. So the tone of his voice in the opening was more childlike almost, but it was also like someone trying to stay calm, like someone speaking and they're really upset about something, but they're trying really hard to stay calm, because soon after the intro of the song, his voice really changed. And when he really started to sing out, he was really kind of preaching about something, and the tone turned a lot darker. It seems to me it was more impactful. Musically, I'm hearing those drums right away. So with 46 and 2, I heard y'all talking about the octopus, right? I saw all those comments about how much you love this drummer. Danny, right? And I admit I have still not seen a video of him, but that might be in a reaction coming up where I actually react to just some of the videos. But wow, you can hear him. He is just all over the place. It is so incredibly impressive. He, along with the guitarists, are just playing with those polyrhythms. And it's so much fun for my ear to hear those things. There's just never a dull moment. So the bass guitar work, that really stood out to me in this first half of the song as well. I'm hearing a lot of octave work. Bum, bum, ba-dum. So the same note, but 8 notes apart. Bum, bum. And to me, that actually started to become its own theme, its own thematic material that I was hearing all the way throughout. And then I did also hear some of the chromatic material where this was in 46 and 2, where it's bum, 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 bum. I heard that, but I think it was in reverse. The bottom note was changing. I'll go back later in the reaction and look for some of those. But for now, I just want to hear the rest of this song out. I want to just soak up their musicality, and I think I have an idea of the attitude behind the song, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm just going to let it all just soak in superficially for now. So I'm going to back it up a little bit and we'll start again. Get into this interlude part in the middle of the song.
Your weapon shapes are chosen in the gold.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. Where do I even begin here? Whew. Well, first of all, the form of the piece as a composer, that's one thing that I really look for, is sort of the balance. I really enjoyed what they did with it. So they had the opening intro material, and then that evolved, and they have sort of an A and a B and a C section with the interlude in the middle. And then how they brought everything back in the second half of the piece was really, really well planned, to the point where you almost heard the opening, like that voice came back, that more innocent sort of, I'm annoyed, but I'm not ready to sound mad yet kind of voice that was at the beginning of the song. It came back and it was so brief. I thought we were getting ready to settle back in and have this big repeat of that opening intro section, but no. It was very brief, and then we started cycling through all of the different motifs that you heard in the first half of the song. And it happened pretty quickly, and it was almost like they were building on top of one of the other, and it just ended up in this grand showmanship. I could listen to this song 20 more times and find new things in it, just like back to back, that I didn't hear in the previous listenings. It's just so complex. My brain just eats that up. So this was a lot of fun. Some other musical aspects that I was catching on to, though, is something called grace notes. In music notation, it's a little teeny tiny note that, and it could be more than one, that you see before the actual note. And they usually have a little cross that goes through the stem or the flag of the note. And there are different ways to handle these grace notes. Sometimes it's just ornamentation. There are different types of them. But I was hearing more and more of that, especially in the percussion and in the guitar work. Kind of like that. Those little notes that come before the actual notes. I was hearing more and more of that build up, and it was really adding to the excitement of the song. And then the vocalist, again, it was really fun to get to hear him more in the spotlight and hear the different characters that he can put on with his voice. So again, there was sort of that more innocent, I'm not ready to be angry yet guy at the beginning, and then he sort of lets his opinion come through. Then there was a moment in the middle, and then again at the end where he's just like full on screaming, and it's almost a deeper sound to it. It was emotional. It was jarring. I'm hoping that he protects his voice and can produce that sound carefully, because it was a heavy duty scream. Okay, so I will go back and mention just a few more things with the musicality. But I want to just check out the lyrics because I might have an idea as to what this is about. Okay, so I'm seeing things here, like all these old sayings, like don't throw stones in a glass house. So who are you to wave your finger? Who are you to wave your fatty fingers at me? Okay. Liar, lawyer, mirror for you. What's the difference? Oh, that was fun to hear. What's the difference? That was sort of that shadow vowel in there. Difference. Love it. And then high. I love how he plays with those words. And then I heard some of the instruments sort of emulating that. It was really, really cool. Okay. Got lemon juice up in your eye when you piss all over my black kettle. Is that why it's called the pot? Like the pot and the kettle? Or is it like the pot is like representing society? Like it all kind of goes into the same pot? And we're all sort of the same? And we all have to kind of live with each other? I don't know. But they mentioned a black kettle. And the song is called The Pot. And then the word hypocrite. Soapbox. House of Cards. Yeah. Okay. I think I get it. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's my interpretation. I got really, really close with the interpretation. Like I pretty much nailed it with 46 and 2. I couldn't believe it. And part of that was just a little hint from the words and then listening to the music itself. So I got a lot of comments with my 46 and 2 reaction that I did this with my hands. Turns out it's about DNA. And so with this, I feel like the motion that goes along with this song is bendy. I caught myself kind of doing this. And to me, that sort of signifies on the planet, in the human race, that we all kind of have to weather things together and we get kind of pulled in one direction or another, depending on what's going on around us. I don't know. I think that there's something about like things changing over time and societal norms changing, and, everything kind of goes in a cycle, all the way from politics to how wide your pant legs are. Like every 10 to 15 years, we go from skinny jeans to wide legs, and it just kind of takes that amount of time for it to go back and forth. That's humanity, the pendulum. And to me, that is the feeling that I got from listening to this song. It was very bendy, but in sort of a slower way, like representing the pendulum that swings through time and how the human race can swing back and forth. So I already went back and talked about that cool ascending chromatic line, which was really neat because in 46 and 2, the bottom note was stationary and the top note descended. But here, the top note was stationary and the bottom note ascended. And it was very creative. I love seeing those fingerprints from the band. The polyrhythms, it all really went crazy there towards the end, but then there was at one point when it sort of came together. And all of a sudden, there was a more decided beat, and it was faster than a lot of the tempo from the previous parts of the song. Let me see if I can find that. So here's more kind of a bendy part. And this is faster here with those little grace notes. It's just more steady. Okay, and what is that? This ominous growling underneath it. So cool. Okay, now we're kind of getting bendy again. And this is almost a false ending. Is this the end of the song? Nope. There's the opening. Ah, but it fools you. He's still mad. Love it. There's that motif, that chromaticism. But it's still very bendy. Whew. There's that scream. Whew. And more grace notes. And we end unresolved. Just so creative. So creative. Okay. So that was The Pot. That was totally cool. Absolutely did not disappoint. It was everything I would hope for in a second listen to this band. And this band's been going a long time, so I know that this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm very excited. So this song's definitely going right on my playlist. I will be listening to this outside of these reactions, around the house, in the car, when I'm out mowing the lawn, I'm going to be listening. And so my only problem here is, what do I listen to next from Tool? So again, I could use your help on deciding that. So I do put out some general polls on YouTube, but we really narrow things down on Patreon and for channel members. On YouTube, I do also listen to the general outcry in comments. So feel free to put your suggestions and I'll do my best to take everybody's hint. But mainly, I feel like my journey with Tool so far has been very productive, but I want to make sure that I get the direction right in which I continue to spiral out. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. And keep listening.